good YouTube? Minasteel here. And when I saw that this Gallade list got top 4 out of 600 players, I knew I had to give it a try. But before I just jumped into the PvP, I kind of want to look into how their tournament went and went straight to Limitless to look at the tournament breakdown. As you can see, this deck ended up playing a total of 14 games and ended with a result of 11-3. 2 of those losses coming in Swiss and then just losing in top 4. And it was just a great performance overall, regardless of what he went against. I had to give him or her props for just doing as well as they did. If it matters, their username is Zozo. But shout outs to them, and being able to top with Gallade the way they did, you gotta give props. But with that said, I wanted to break down and kind of look into like what they played. And out of their 14 games, they won 11. So that leads to like a 78%, basically 80% win rate, which is huge. It's great, especially in the tournament setting where everybody's giving it their all. It's not like you could go on ladder and play 10 straight games against like a Magikarp and knock it down every time with him only, and then say like that's not gonna happen in tournaments. So being able to maintain 80% win rate in a tournament is huge, and it's kind of like it needs to be your day, and a lot of has to go your way, but it's still a great accomplishment. They went against a total of 5 different execute decks, 5 different Magnezone decks, and then it was like a scatter of like different decks. As you saw, they started the day off by losing to like basically a mirror. Their mirror wasn't playing Lucario, so I feel like on paper they had the advantage, but I guess maybe their opponent went second and was able to deal damage first, or they didn't see their Gallade. You never know what happens. Well, the important thing is that they beat Gyarados, which is a matchup that fighting should win, especially with like the him only in the deck. What was really interesting to me is the lack of Darkrai they faced, because even though they faced 5 Magnezones, 4 of them were the Skarmory version, which in this tournament was more popular than the Darkrai version. But that doesn't take away with how many different variants of Darkrai that they only saw 1 in their climb. That doesn't take anything away from them. It's just a note that I realized or noticed when I was going over what their tournament was. And basically it was a lot of very competitive decks. The 2 most played decks in this tournament were Execute with like the 1 Celebi, and then followed by the Skarmory Magnezones. And clearly their tournament experience showed that, and they played a deck that just was able to win those matchups. So all credit when credit's due. And I just wanted to look at this because sometimes you'll see a deck like, oh, they got first place and then just went against their best matchup the whole time. And I don't think this was the case. I think if they saw a lot of more Gyarados, you could kind of make that discussion. But I truly feel like this is like a breakthrough for Gallade, as well as a proof that not every, like, just because the format says, oh, everybody's playing Darkrai, doesn't mean like that's what you have to do. You could find breakthroughs or different decks that get you there. Now, looking back at the deck list, I do want to point out that in the tournament, all combined Gallade decks with Lucario did end up winning 55% of their matches, which is huge. Like when you're winning more than half your games, your deck is very respectable, I feel, at least in my opinion. And what makes this deck good is definitely like the versatility of fighting. You have him only that can tag the backline that just auto wins you games against like Gyarados, or applies a lot of pressure against decks that just build up and like maybe miss their evolution lines. Hitmonchan is up front, just already tagging whatever's in front. It's not as strong as like a Skarmory lead, which is one of the more popular things that's going on in the meta currently. But once you have like Lucario set up, Hitmonchan is basically a Skarmory as well. Lucario makes it where everything's hitting 20 harder. And then Gallade having 170 HP is so underrated in my opinion. Granted, it's getting noticed, right? It's doing good in tournaments, and it's probably going to be played more since it has like at least a winning, like it can win in most matchups, which is something that you can't say for too many decks. Like a lot of decks, like, okay, yeah, like Executor has really good Darkrai matchups, but if it starts going against too many like Charizards and Gyarados, you might see it lose because it just doesn't deal enough damage to keep up with like the HP of these Pokemon. But all that to say, Gallade is versatile because of fighting, hard hitting because of Lucario, and then just once Gallade is set up, it's basically a juiced up Alakazam, because although it hits less than Alakazam, it does it with just 2 energy. And the fact that you have Lucario and 170 HP, like so much is going for Gallade in terms that like Alakazam couldn't do before. And then you just have standard like fighting things that are going in your favor. Like if you go second, you apply so much pressure that most decks can't keep up. And if you go first and have like the perfect curve, you're swinging with Gallade on your 3rd turn, and it's just too much for your opponent to handle. The cons are a little consistency issues. Clearly, for the deck we're covering, the fact that they won 80% of their games, you have to assume they were drawing pretty well. In my own experience, I wasn't able to replicate an 80% win rate. And although there's some games, like I will post, like there's a guy that flipped 5 heads on their Articuno turn 1, and obviously like I can't win a game like that. But yeah, there's a lot of games that I lost just because I couldn't find Gallade. So that's something that hinders any deck that's stage 2, as like consistency is still not fully there. Maybe I might up communication to 2, but since we're playing such an array of Pokemon, it's not as consistent as it is in other lists. And then the other thing is, if you don't see Gallade, the lack of bulk in the deck, you do get easily like ran through by other decks, where there's like Darkrai putting an energy swing for 80, or most decks just get to one-shot everything you have outside of Gallade. But once you get Gallade, this deck is pretty strong, and it doesn't surprise me why I did so well. So hopefully the gameplay, along with like a little look into how it goes against certain matchups, helps you guys either replicate this or find a way to use your Gallade. I know for certain I didn't have a list that I felt too comfortable with Gallade, which is why I hadn't posted a Gallade list until now. With that said, if you enjoy the content, please consider liking and subscribing, and above all else, stay pro. Alright, we have to go second, which I guess with fighting is ideal. And, do we want to start Riolu? I guess going second, we excuse me. Against water. Yeah. I'm assuming it's gonna be like a Manaphy up front, so never mind. Jotagon. Let's see what we end up doing. Well, there's the magic card. So if we could see him only XP off of this research, then we're in the money. Hitmonchan Curlia. You put this down. If we tag Jotagon for 20, Gallade's only doing. I think there's no rush. Unfortunately, we didn't see the Hitmonlee to just end the game super fast. I guess I did have Sabrina. So that could have been a play too. Just feed Hitmonchan. Sabrina out the thing, but I had no way of dealing damage here. And they already evolved. I don't feel too bad about the way I went about it. There was the XP, so luckily for him, he did evolve there. Luckily for us, we could drag out that Gyarados right now and start poking it. I don't know why it's taking. There you go. And the more he builds it up, the harder Gallade's gonna hit, so that's always good. And we have the option to X-speed and hit for 30. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Yeah, then next turn we're able to just use the retreat back to Gallade and start swinging for 70 plus however much energy they want to dedicate to this Gyarados. There's Froakie. Okay. Okay, so outside of them having... Oof, and the Cyrus basically guarantees it. But yeah, outside of them having like a Misty, this game should be ours. And even if they have Misty, I'm pretty sure we're fine. Hit for 110. Even if they tried to back out Gyarados, we'll bring it right back out with Cyrus. We ain't worried about that. A retreat cost of 3 is huge. Very expensive for them to do. Can't say I know what they're trying to do or what their intentions are. Fighting usually has a good matchup against Gyarados, but it's mainly because him only just snipes the Magikarp, but we were able to get to Gallade fast enough where it didn't matter. Yeah, GG's. Alright, going first. Cause some kind of fighting. See, started Riolu, started Ralts. They do get to hit us, which is unfortunate, but if we see something, we probably XP'd already. Never mind. That's not what I meant. Hopefully we see Gallade. I wonder what they'll opt to do. Okay, there's the Hitmonlee. If they evolve into Lucario, Ross is basically donezo. We could start tagging him only. Definitely evolve this Curlia. You know what? Let's be aggressive. And if you're wondering why I'm keeping him only, is 100%. So if we see Pokemon communication, we hopefully get the Gallade. Because the way we're playing it is sort of like telling them, oh, we have it, but they clearly don't know that. Alright, doesn't seem like they saw Lucario, or at least don't want to use... Alright, so far we're fine, especially if we see Gallade EX. And this is practically, if not literally, just game over. I'm keeping the Hitmonlee in hand again. Not again, I mean, as like a surprise factor almost. There's no combination of Lucarios that could deal damage to Gallade in time. Their best bet is like a Cyrus or Sabrina to out the Ralts, but it doesn't do anything in terms of like getting them towards the win. There's Lucario. So they can hit us for 40. Yeah, it's GG's. The Lucario couldn't even swing the following turn, and it just... Luckily we saw the Gallade when we needed it. Alright, again, going first once again against Meadow. Not the ideal start. Unless we see like the perfect cards, right? And okay, and the second thing was them having Dialga. Reason being, like if it was Skarmory, they'd start hitting way too fast. Let's hopefully we get Riolu here. We do, perfect. Let's put both of these down and we'll hold the Ralts, the second one. Just in case we see Pokemon communication, that's what we'll send back. They're not on the promo Jigglypuff, that's something to note. Whether it matters or not is kind of irrelevant. Okay, so Dialga, Mew. So it's basically like the generic Mega deck, but they're focusing on Wigglytuff as like the main attacker. There's Sabrina that doesn't do anything because they'll just send... it could do something, right? It kind of stalls them. Yeah, let's do that, because they will require them to have like an X-Speeder or a Leaf in order to bring back the one that could actually ramp. Okay, they went with the Mew, which is fine. We'll evolve here. And let's just teleport into the... I guess also if they're playing Budding for some reason, that would also work here for them. Yeah, but I feel like slowing down the ramp as well as like the damage that they're applying goes a long way. And research basically shows that they won't leave. They could still X-Speed if they have it. While you're playing X-Speed in a deck that has countless 2 retreat costs. I guess this is why, right? It works out, I guess. If they go to Jigglypuff, it clearly shows that they have the Wigglytuff. The fact they didn't evolve already kind of shows otherwise. So it's probably gonna go, if I had to guess, on the. Yeah, I should have said it because that's what I was thinking. But whatever. Well, we're gonna try to dig for that Curlia. No guarantees. There's way too many Pokemon in the deck, but we could get lucky. Okay. I think our best choice is still to deal 50 here. We're not in a good spot, but we are a Curly away from being perfectly fine. He is applying his energy correctly though, so props to him. Interesting, not valuing the Wigglytuff. There's the Curlia, so we got something going. Let's go here, and we're gonna drop him only just in case they like Sabrina or something. We want to give him something that's what's the word? Expendable. I do think Gallade, outside of like Wigglytuff putting us to sleep, is strong enough to carry us over here. Yeah, you have to charge the Wigglytuff at this point, and they're gonna have to depend on the Wigglytuff doing its thing. Part of me almost wanted to like, if we saw Cyrus, there was a different play we had, but it's all gonna come down to the Wigglytuff and the coin for falling asleep or not. Yeah, because of the weakness, we hit for 70. It's gonna have 2 energy. Well, it's gonna be 3 energy, right? At that point, they went with the Mew. Why would they go Mew? Mew would hit for 70, 90 because of weakness, 130. Their only win condition is literally Wigglytuff putting us to sleep and us not waking up. Unless I'm missing something, which feel free to point that out. And as we mentioned earlier, we put down the Hitmonlee specifically for this. Yeah, I think they did not play this correctly. Although it might have not mattered again, because if they had played it correctly, they were still hoping on a coin, like putting it all on a coin flip. But that still would have been better than just us winning regardless, right? Because now there's no coin flip and we just win. If my math is correct, which is... Here's the 70, 90 because of Lucario. The Mew has currently 2 energy, so it's 110, 130 exactly. If it goes to 3, then it's even more. Not sure what they were going for there. But we'll take it as soon as it lets me. Yep, exactly 130. And GG's. Once we got the Gallade up, their only win condition was trying to put us to sleep, and they just didn't go for it, so GG's. Alright, going first. Against Metal. And we have a pretty good hand here. But they have Skarmory, which is rather aggressive. Let's see what this research could grab us. Nothing that stands out as of yet, but yeah. And unfortunately, Lucario, even with evolving, only goes up to 100. So if they have a tool, they knock us out in 2 turns, regardless of evolving or not, which is not ideal. Okay, they've yet to equip a tool, so maybe we get lucky. Yeah, no, it was too good to be true to think that they wouldn't have it. Best case scenario is if we draw into Gallade. That's not it, but we do get to research. Gallade, come on. There it is, perfect. I guess we do want to... Communications. The chances that it's a basic Pokemon is pretty high. It's just... I might regret this, but... If it's Curly, I regret it. Otherwise, we're fine. Yeah, this is just to have a body that could get, that could take a hit from... I'm blanking out on, like, just making sentences, but, like, if they have Sabrina, they couldn't just bring out Curly, is what I was trying to get at. Regigigas. Okay, not what I was expecting, and they completely changed their plans here. Because the idea I was gonna have is just to Sabrina out the Magneton, and it would have been done at that point, but... And due to how it went down, this Skarmory's gonna be able to hit us for 50 real quick before anything happens. The game plan doesn't change though. That Riolu's huge. Go Gallade here. Luckily we have a lot of HP on Gallade. I almost want a Sabrina anyways. Because if they send out Regigigas, it's not going anywhere. Yeah, let's Sabrina. Yeah, so this Regigigas is literally going nowhere. Buys us time. And nothing they put could take us down. Like Reggie, yeah, and I feel really good about our position right now. I guess they could leave away the Regigigas if they wanted to. Okay, another Pokeball. Okay, that's I'll play what we could do. My fear is if Skarmory hits us for 50, puts us to 120, and then they have like some kind of or some form of like Geo. If they're playing Geo, is basically what I'm scared of. But it's like our only win condition, though. At least only because of the way I played it, huh? I guess the other way would have been to just back out Gallade, give the energy to Hitmonchan, take the knockout with that, and see how they respond. So I guess that's on me. Yeah, I could have played this differently. Yeah, now if they give Magnezone a Rocky Helmet, we're also in trouble. You have like a Ralts left or something? Yeah. I guess we put him on better have the Rocky Helmet or something. Let's see. Also, the Magnezone just doesn't lose to... Yeah, I also didn't do that math either, right? Actually, no. We might be able to knock him out. There you go. Rocky Helmet basically makes it where it would be a tie. Actually, yeah, it would be a tie, huh? And we used our Sabrina already, right? Because how much damage are we doing here? 130. Why doesn't it count weakness? Maybe we could put it to the test. I've seen some people post like... Actually... My fear is that if if they have Cyrus, if we don't play around Cyrus, because the other plays like him only tag this Magnemite and then bring it out. For science, I'm gonna do this and see who gets the win. Because I don't know, maybe it records that the Magnus, like we knocked out Magnezone first. Okay, so it's a draw, I'm assuming. Yeah, okay, I just wanted to see that. That's pretty cool. Alright, starting first. Against water. Let's show the him only. If they're on some kind of Magikarp thing. Manaphy, Eevee, and there's the Magikarp. Unfortunately, actually no, fortunately. Actually, the best would have been if we were going second, but we'll take first where they can't really move it out the way just yet. They won't be able to evolve. Most they could do is ramp and then lose it, or put it up front. In which case, we'll figure out what to do there. Yeah, that's best case scenario for us. Although if they're playing like a side boss, whether it's like Articuno or like one of Palkia or anything like that, Vaporeon's still a problem for us, but one problem at a time, right? We need to see Kirlia, or we would like to see Kirlia. Do we? You know what? I'm gonna do it this early, just cause whether it gets us Kirlia or Lucario, we want to see it now. Or like, yeah, we'd ideally. Okay, there you see. Doesn't help him only any like at all, but still. Okay, clearly get the knockout there. I wonder what their second like win condition will be. Like what they're building up towards. Guess we'll see it, especially since like I can't complain because I also saw double research, but okay, so also Blastoise. So Gyarados Blastoise is a choice. Clearly they're building up towards having War Turtle. Otherwise they wouldn't leave Squirtle there, right? The good thing, what they don't know, is that we have... Okay, that's even better. Is that we have Cyrus. We'll research here. Usually I try to research before I do the evolutions, but... And you know what? Let's put Himochan down just so if they Sabrina, we don't lose what we care for. Yeah, so this makes it where if he doesn't evolve, we can knock it out. And if he does evolve, we could bring it out with Cyrus and knock it out with Gallade. I don't care much for how much they're ramping when they've... Staryu, Gyarados, Blastoise, the Vaporeon line. How many... What is going on? And the best part, actually we have multiple options here. I think I'm just gonna knock out this Manaphy. If I knock out Manaphy, or I could tag the Staryu. If I tag the Staryu for 30, how much does Gallade do to a Staryu with 2 energy? 70, 110, I think 130 regardless. Yeah, so like instead what I'm gonna do is back out into Hitmonchan and just take out the Manaphy. And then literally anything they put out front loses to Gallade. And they have no form of like bringing out any of the threats, as they haven't hit us for any damage. Yeah, my math is correct, right? 70, 90 with Lucario, and then the 2 energy on Staryu. Yeah, I mean Starmie. Yeah, it's alright. I don't know how they fit so many water Pokemon in that deck. But it reminds me of the dark deck in my previous video. Alright, my math wasn't off, 130. And GG's. Gallade is such a tank. 170 HP, and the amount of damage it could deal is crazy. Alright, going second. And water, which I feel like, whatever. It feels like the whole ladder is just fighting in water these days. And I can't even complain, I'm part of the fighting right now, so. Articuno. Is it 18 trainers, or are they just playing like the Palkia list? I guess we'll find out, right? This game could end instantly, just now. We're just hoping for tails. Even one has put some like way ahead of curve. That was the game of all time.